My beloveds, there comes a time in every life when the weight becomes too heavy to carry alone. When the night is long, and the silence speaks louder than the crowd. When the path before you winds with shadows, and your feet are weary from the journey. It is in that moment, not of triumph, but of trial, that you must stand still and trust God to take care of you. There is something sacred in being remembered, something holy in being known, and there is nothing so painful as to believe you have been forgotten. Oh, I have known the silence, the kind of silence that sits heavy on your chest and whispers lies in your ear, the kind of silence that makes you wonder if your prayers went unheard, if your cries were too quiet, if your name had been lost among the stars. That deep silence, where even hope seems too wary to speak. Yes, I've been there. But let me tell you, child, God has not forgotten you. He is not a man that he should misplace your name. He is not fickle, that he would turn his face away in your time of need. He is not like the world that smiles in sunshine and disappears in rain. He is God, the Ancient of Days, the Alpha and the Omega, and he has carved your name on the palms of his hands. Can you imagine that? While others may overlook you, while some may dismiss you, God carries you in his very essence. Even when you were in your mother's womb, he saw you. Before your first breath, before your first cry, before your first heartbreak, he knew you. And he didn't just glance at you, he beheld you. He called you wonderful, beautiful, purposed. And so, when the winds of life howl and the storm clouds gather, do not think he has stepped away. Oh no, darling, that's when he's closest. That's when his arms are wrapped around you tighter than ever before. But pain has a way of dulling our senses. Grief has a way of closing our eyes. Fear makes the world feel dark, and when we cannot see him, we assume he is not there. But faith says, even when I cannot trace his hand, I trust his heart. You are not abandoned. You are not forsaken. You are not alone in this wilderness. You are held, and not by some weak hand, but by the one who stretched the heavens like a curtain, who told the sun where to rise and the ocean how far to go. That's who holds you. I know people have walked away. I know they promised forever and gave you a season. I know you gave your all and received their silence. But don't you measure God by the failures of man. Don't you lay the weight of human betrayal on divine love. God is not like them. He is not limited by time or tired by your questions. He does not grow impatient when you tremble or falter. He does not need reminders to be faithful. He is faithfulness. There are times when you won't feel his hand. Times when the heavens feel shut and your soul feels dry. But even in the silence, God is speaking. Even in the stillness, he is moving. Sometimes the greatest miracles are not loud. Sometimes they come quietly, like peace in the middle of your storm, like strength to keep standing when you thought you'd fall, like a whisper in your spirit that says, keep going, I'm still here. You are not invisible to God. You are not forgotten in the crowd. You are seen in full color, heard in full volume, loved in full measure. The world will try to tell you otherwise. It will tell you're too broken, too messed up, too late, too far gone. But the world doesn't get the final say. God does. And when he looks at you, he sees purpose. He sees power. He sees possibility. And no mistake you've made can erase his memory of who you really are. You may have stumbled. You may have doubted. You may have wandered so far off the path you can't even see the road. But hear, Meg, God's love is not confined to straight lines. His grace is not limited to the worthy. His care does not expire. His arms are open still. He is the good shepherd who leaves the 99 to find the one. And if you're that one, if you're the one who's tired, the one who's unsure, the one who's hanging on by a thread, then he is coming for you. Not to punish, not to scold, but to gather you, to cradle you, to remind you are his. Oh, there is something so powerful in being chosen. Still, after the fall, after the loss, after the shame, after the silence, to be looked upon by a loving God who says, "You are mine, and I will never let you go." He does not forget his children. He does not lose track of his promises. His word is eternal, and if he said he will never leave you, then you can stand on that, even when everything else crumbles. I have walked through valleys so low that the sky seemed unreachable. I have cried tears that made rivers of grief, but never, not once, was I alone. Never was I unloved, never was I forgotten, and neither are you. So rise up, beautiful soul, wipe your tears and lift your head. The one who made the stars is still guiding your path. The one who raised the mountains is still lifting you. The one who formed your heart is still holding it. God has not forgotten you. He is nearer than your breath. And even now, even in this very moment, he is working things out for your good. Trust it, believe it, walk in it. You are remembered. You are precious. You are forever in his care. There is something deep within the human soul that longs to understand. We ask, we analyze, we seek patterns and predict outcomes. We want to know why. Why did this happen? Why now? Why me? And while the pursuit of wisdom is noble, child, there are moments in life when no amount of reasoning will yield peace. Only trust will. You see, faith is not born in clarity. It is not made of answers. It is not nurtured by sight. Faith, my beloved, is forged in the dark. It is the hand you stretch out when you cannot see. It is the voice you lift when there is no echo. It is the hope you hold when the evidence says you shouldn't. Faith is not a destination for the comfortable. It is the road the trembling walk. And yes, it is a hard thing to trust when you do not understand, to keep going when every sign says turn back, to believe when your heart is breaking, to worship when your prayers seem unanswered. But that is precisely when faith blooms. When understanding fails, trust begins to sing. I know, child, you want to make sense of it all. The betrayal, the closed doors, the sickness that came without warning, the dreams that crumbled like dry leaves in your hands. I know the questions sit heavy on your chest, but if you hold too tightly to the need to understand, you may miss the miracle unfolding in the mystery. There is a higher wisdom at work, a divine hand weaving things together beyond what your eyes can see. While you are counting the pieces, God is designing the masterpiece. I've lived long enough to know this. The detours were not delays. They were divine redirections. The heartbreak wasn't just pain. It was preparation. The silence was not absence. It was sacred stillness. And the no was not rejection. It was redirection to something better than I ever asked for. But I didn't see it then. No, in the middle of it I wept. I questioned. I doubted. I whispered into my pillow, God, where are you? And in his mercy, he did not scold me for asking. He held me. He let me cry. And then he reminded me gently, you don't have to understand. You only have to trust me. That, my dear, is the foundation of faith, not the certainty of outcomes, but the certainty of God's character. Trusting that he is good when life is not. Trusting that he is near when you feel alone. Trusting that he is working when all seems still. The world will try to teach you to rely only on what you can prove, measure, or explain. But you are not just of this world. You are of spirit and breath and promise. And some of the greatest truths are not visible to the eyes. They must be felt in the soul. You may not understand why the door closed, but perhaps God was saving you from what lay behind it. You may know why the relationship ended, but maybe that absence is the space God needed to fill with something divine. You may not understand why the healing hasn't come, but trust that your story isn't over, and every page is in his hand. When God tells you to step out, he doesn't always show you the ground, but he always provides it once you do. Like Peter stepping out of the boat, you won't know you can walk on water until you dare to trust the voice that calls you. There will be moments when your heart and mind will wrestle. Your mind will scream, "It doesn't make sense." And your heart, if it is still, will whisper back, "But God is still good." In those moments, choose to listen to the whisper. Trust doesn't erase the fear. It rises above it. I remember days when I had more questions than answers, more tears than strength. Days when I looked to the heavens with furrowed brows and trembling hands. But even when I was broken, I was not forsaken. Even when I was confused, I was not abandoned. And with every step, God proved himself faithful, not because he explained everything to me, but because he walked with me through it. Faith is not a crutch for the weak. It is the staff of the courageous. It is what keeps you upright when the world is collapsing. It is what gives you vision when your eyes are too swollen to see. It is what teaches your feet to dance even in the dark. Trusting God doesn't mean you'll never hurt. It means you believe he'll heal you. It doesn't mean you'll never face loss. It means you believe he'll restore. It doesn't mean life will be easy. But it does mean you will never walk alone. So let go just a little. Loosen your grip on the need to know everything. Take a breath and lean into the mystery. It is not empty. It is holy. It is not silence. It is God's whisper saying, "I've got you." You don't have to see the end to keep walking. You don't have to understand the path to know it is divine. You don't have to feel strong to move forward. Trust is not the absence of doubt. It is the decision to believe anyway. You, child of God, are not lost. You are led. You are not forgotten. You are guided. You are not abandoned. You are deeply and forever loved. And though you may not understand today, one day you will look back and say, "Ah, now I see." Until then, walk on. Cry if you must, pause if you need to, but keep moving. And every time fear rises, remind it, "I may not understand, but I know my God, and that is enough." Yes, beloved, it is more than enough. Child, don't be in such a hurry that you outrun God. We live in a world that prizes instant gratification. Everything fast, everything now, drive-through blessings, microwave miracles. We want the mountain to move before we've even bowed to pray. But hear me when I say this, the God we serve is not rushed. He is not moved by your timeline. He is not bound by your clock. He is eternal, child, and in his hands time is a servant, not a master. Sometimes the blessing you're waiting on is not being delayed. It's being perfected. Oh yes, God's timing is a holy mystery. It may confuse the mind, but it will always bless the soul. You see, we want what's next, but God wants what's right. He will not give you something before the season is ripe. What good is fruit if it has not matured on the vine? It looks sweet on the outside, but it will sour in your mouth. And that, child, is not how God moves. We grow impatient. We tap our feet, wring our hands, watch others get what we've been praying for and wonder, "Lord, what about me?" But can I tell you, delay does not mean denial. Sometimes the wait is the gift. Sometimes God withholds not to hurt you, but to hold you in place while he works behind the curtain of your understanding. What you call waiting, God calls weaving, threading all things together in a divine pattern you could never see on your own. Don't confuse God's silence for his absence. When you cannot trace his hand, you must trust his heart. Oh, how I've learned that! There were seasons I cried myself to sleep. Seasons I fasted and prayed and got nothing but stillness in return. But the stillness wasn't empty. It was sacred. God was moving in ways I couldn't see. Doors I didn't know existed were being opened. Enemies I couldn't fight were being defeated. Provision I hadn't earned was being prepared. You see, God doesn't just bless you. He builds you. And he won't give you something your character isn't ready to carry. A gift given too soon becomes a burden, but in God's timing, the gift becomes a tool of joy, a testimony. He waits because he loves you. He waits because you are not just asking for something. You are becoming someone. There is wisdom in the pause. There is purpose in the patience. when God